Now we're going to go back to the contest, the iPrize, which was just announced this morning. Very exciting contest. Are there specific topics you're most interested in?
Yeah, so the announcement we're making today is that we're launching a second iPrize. So the competition is open to anybody outside of Cisco employees, and anybody's welcome to submit an idea. The winning idea will get a $250,000 prize, and that's the same as what we did in the first iPrize. What's different this time around is we want to get a little bit more focused. And so we're announcing 4 broad areas for where we're looking for new ideas. And in fact, we chose those ideas because they're part of Cisco's mission, so changing the way we live, work, play, and learn. So we're interested in specific new ideas for markets and emerging technologies in how we live. So this could be all about healthcare or how we as individuals go about our lives. Could also be in terms of how we play or entertainment. How we work, so that maybe speaks to collaboration technologies, and then learn, which is all about education and the way we potentially could transform the way education is carried out using better technology. So we're focused on these 4 new areas. And the second part of the competition that I think is also quite exciting is that for the first time we're also going to use Cisco's own collaboration technologies as a platform for this collaboration. So as you go to the iPrize site, and that's at cisco.com/iPrize, what we'll be using, in addition to a product from a partner that we're using from a company called Spigot, we're going to use 2 Cisco products, Pulse and Show and Share. And Pulse is an automatic tagging system that we announced in November as part of our collaboration launch. And what Pulse allows us to do is to connect innovators. As you submit an idea, it will start tagging that idea, and you can search on those tags to potentially exchange ideas or to join forces with other innovators that are looking at the same kinds of ideas as yourself. The second aspect of this is Show and Share. Show and Share is a product we also announced in November, which is a video sharing website. So as you go into the iPrize site, you have the possibility of recording a video clip. So if you want to explain your idea or you want to show your idea, you have some flip charts or a demo or a mock-up, please do so, because we think that telling your story with video is so much more compelling and will allow our judges to understand so much better what you're proposing. So if you have a webcam, a flip camera, any kind of device capable of recording video, go ahead and submit an idea on the iPrize site, and you'll be using Show and Share.
Now, Guido, some people may be thinking, are you launching this contest because you're not seeing enough innovation within Cisco?
Great question, Karen. So we have a lot of internal R&D. We spend about a little bit over $4 billion on internal R&D, and that continues. We're very happy with how we're continuing to innovate on our products. But we think that we don't want to just employ one source of innovation. We want to get innovation from internal means, so that's our own R&D engineers investing in innovation. We also wanted to continue to do investments in acquisitions. Cisco has acquired over 100 companies so far over the last 15 years. But we also wanted to tap into this social innovation. How do we tap into a community outside of the company? And as we saw with the last iPrize, there's some very innovative and surprising innovators out there who can come and give us additional sources of information. So for us, it's about adding to our sources of innovation rather than replacing any one source.
Why should these innovators give their great ideas to Cisco?
That's a great question. So in terms of the great ideas, one part is having the idea. The other part is how do you bring it to market? And clearly, there's a lot of companies that try to bring things to market, but they don't succeed. They get clobbered by a larger competitor. So part of the appeal about working with Cisco is that we have the resources and the global reach to bring your idea to market. You'll get rewarded for it. And in some cases, what we're looking to do is to see whether maybe if you're an existing company and you have this technology or idea that's part of a product you're currently selling, we can have a chat. Clearly, we're not going to demand that you give us that for the prize money per se. We can enter into a commercial agreement because Cisco licenses, buys, acquires, invests in a variety of companies as it brings its own products to market. So think of it as just a way of getting in touch, getting it to our attention, and potentially introducing a further partnership that could be mutually beneficial.
Wonderful. And for those of you who have just joined us, I'm sitting here with Guido Jouret, CTO of the Emerging Technologies Group here at Cisco. We're obviously talking about innovation. A very exciting announcement was made earlier today about the iPrize. So we're talking quite a bit about that. We can see there's quite a number of viewers watching us right now at this moment. And so feel free to send us a question via email at Talk2Cisco at cisco.com or via Twitter or Facebook. Guido, since I have you here and we have this great opportunity, can I pick your brain a little bit and ask you what are some of the greatest innovations that you can think of over the last decade?
So the last decade is interesting because if you think back, 10 years, 2000, it was really the end of one huge wave of innovation, which was the web era, right, which gave us e-business, e-commerce, and companies like Amazon and eBay that all sort of rose to prominence. And then, of course, as we all know, the tech bubble burst. And a lot of people predicted sort of a desert of innovation or a lack of further innovation in technology because so much money went out of the market, so much value was destroyed in such a short period of time. But in fact, with the benefit of hindsight, that's not what happened. What actually happened is as the e-commerce wave crested, a whole other wave of innovation arose, which was social networking, so the rise of the Facebooks and MySpaces and Twitters. Also the mobile generation, so the massive adoption of mobile telephony, not just in the developed world, but also, frankly, in areas like India and China, where, in fact, there's hundreds of millions of people that came onto mobile devices. And so there's video as well, as the barriers to creating an HD video clip today is very, very accessible. Anyone can do it. And so I think that the social networking, wireless, and video explosions have been among the biggest innovations in the past 10 years, Karen.
Okay, so we've looked back. Mm-hmm. Now can we look into the future?
Try.
What's going to be sparking the next wave of innovation?
So I think that innovation occurs when you try to solve some compelling pain point or issue. So frankly, when we're looking for great opportunities, we try to look for meaty problems, hard problems. And everywhere we look, there are substantial problems, whether it's climate change, whether it's moving to renewable energy generation from solar or wind, whether it's the migration of fossil fuel cars to electric cars, whether it's also fixing things like the healthcare systems. So in this country, for example, this country spends close to 16% of GDP on healthcare. A vast proportion of that money doesn't go in providing care. It goes in shuffling paper around between insurance companies, healthcare providers, and others. So it's a vastly inefficient way of delivering healthcare. And then think about education. So if nothing else, education is probably the only long-term sustainable advantage that countries can embark upon. If you don't invest in the future of your children, you neglect your future welfare. And yet we know that there's actually not been a lot of research as to what works in education, what tools work, what mechanisms work, how do we produce predictable results in terms of students that are well-equipped to deal with the challenges of the future. So everywhere you look, there are huge, compelling problems that require additional innovation. So if I was an innovator today looking outside Cisco, what I would be working on, I'd be trying to find out how I can address some of those major pain points.
You've talked a little bit about innovation in emerging markets. What is the key to truly globalizing innovation as a process? How does Cisco do it?
So that's a great question. And I think Cisco is one example. I think, frankly, a lot of companies are driven by the same dynamics. And those are the dynamics of globalization. So that as any company grows, as any organization grows, it's going to hire people in different markets. It's going to move parts of its supply chain to different parts of the world to both take advantage of cost as well as to minimize risk. And as companies globalize, they share best practices and innovation. So perhaps like in the 80s, when the Japanese car manufacturers established factories here in the United States, they shared a lot of their quality best practices, which then became part of how the whole automobile industry worldwide evolved and became more effective. So just as companies globalize, they share best practices, which instill innovation and share that innovation worldwide. So that's one element. I think another is that with technologies like the Internet, when you connect to a website and you book travel or you buy something or you negotiate a service, you don't necessarily know, nor do you perhaps even need to care, where the company behind that website really is. So that, I think, is phenomenally interesting, whereby the market, if you were to set up a brick-and-mortar business, many of your customers would come from a nearby area. If you go online, of course, your customers could be anywhere. And that is very exciting because you're no longer constrained to your own neighborhood, your province, your country as to where you could go for customers.